Reports came out earlier today for Caitlin Clark's injury update, where it says here underwent further medical evaluations earlier this week, which confirmed there's no additional injuries or damage were discovered. That's good news. All that being said, Clark will continue working with the medical team on her recovery and rehabilitation, with a priority on her long term health and well being. I do like the fact she's resting because when she came back, she obviously looks hurt and hasn't been playing well. I understand she's not shooting well from the field. Her playmaking has been there, but you could tell the injury is bothering her. There is no timetable available for her return. Now, the Fever did win tonight against the Aces. That was a big win, but there's 19 games left in the regular season. And I think, and this is my opinion, if she doesn't come back within the next 2 to 3 weeks, maybe you consider shutting her down because at that point, if the Fever are no longer going to make the playoffs, just prepare for next season. It's a wash here. It's frustrating, and I understand if some people feel like, well, you know what? Let's see what happens if she comes back in the last 2 weeks. Maybe it's not worth pushing on her because you want to rest her, get her healthy for next season, especially with the ongoing injuries she's had all year. And that might be the best move for her going forward long term wise, because you have to think about it, the WNBA needs Caitlin Clark to get healthy. It's really important. And this person here, Caitlin Clark is such a gimmick. The WNBA has to cover when nothing's even wrong with her because that is more entertaining watching women ball. Newsflash, bro, or her, I don't know. They do care about Caitlin Clark more than anything else. It's just how it goes. People aren't watching as much. This person says here, LeBron plus Luca. That means no revenue for the WNBA for months. Oh, that's funny. The CBA negotiations is going to be a circus with the players in the league. She will be back 2 weeks before the playoffs start just to get back in the groove. I don't know. I'm not sure if I would do that because it might not be worth it. And it's assuming the Fever will be in contention to make the playoffs. Looking at their schedule coming up, they got to go to Chicago on Sunday. That should be a win. Got Phoenix at home. Got to go to Dallas. And then you got to go to Seattle and Los Angeles and then Phoenix. Those are some winnable games here. Seattle's not going to be easy. I don't think they would win that one without Clark. And then you have to play Chicago at home again. You got the Dallas Wings. And then on top of that, you got Washington at home. So Dallas and Washington, Chicago, those should be wins if Clark's not playing. Got to go to Connecticut. That should be another win. Then you got Minnesota in back-to-backs, Seattle. Tough stretch there. Go to Los Angeles or at Golden State. So to conclude the month of August, you got to play the Valkyries again. They've had their number against the Fever this year. So by that point, if the Fever are not even close to making the playoffs, or let's just say they're battling for the 8th seed, is it worth it at that point to bring Clark back, assuming she misses that much time? I don't know. There's a lot of speculation with this injury right now because they don't have a timetable on it. I'm just glad she's resting. If the Fever can somehow string together some wins because it's been so back and forth all year long. Obviously, there's been a lot of frustration with Stephanie White as the head coach because the rotations have been off. She's been very just bad with the offense. Been some Kelsey Mitchell show, and then there's players who have it going, and she doesn't play them enough. Fourth quarter performances have been dreadful. It's just been bad. Like even tonight, they scored 18 points against the Aces. That's not good. They've had a habit of just scoring 18 to 20 points in every fourth quarter, it seems, since I want to say it was June the 19th against the Valkyries. That's when things started to go downhill with their fourth quarter numbers. It's just been bad. And some of that's on the players, some of that is on the coach. But if Clark does come back, and let's just say the Fever are 6 or 7 games over 500, they're battling for the 60, then yeah, you bring her back. It's just all contingent on how the team performs going forward because, again, you got Chicago come up. That should be a win. Phoenix, that's not doable because they're 15-8, so that's not going to be an easy game, assuming Clark is still out. Hopefully she's not. But again, you got to consider her rest. Then you got to go to Dallas. That should be a win. The Sparks have been giving them problems this year. So I just don't know right now. It depends on how the players feel and what they do. They've just been so inconsistent. So it's just hard to really buy in to this roster and this collective group of players. I'm not saying they're scrubs. I'm not saying they're bad. It just feels like it's not a great fit. But they still have potential. Like you see this team win a playoff series. I do see that, but they have to start gelling and clicking together. Tonight, Kelsey Mitchell, she took 24 shots, only made 8 of them. They still got the win, and they did well. Well, they competed well on the glass. They only lost the rebounding by 1. Turnovers are about even, and they shot well. They made 9 more threes in the aces, so that's good. And you look at other people who contributed, like McDonald, 9 points, 4 assists. That's good. Natasha Howe was great, 18 points and 13 rebounds. Aaliyah Boston, 13 and 10. They were huge tonight for the Fever. And they had a bad second quarter, but the third quarter, they turned it up and they held on the fourth. But again, is this sustainable? Can they carry momentum from game to game? Because they win one, lose one. It's been like that all year. Or win two, lose 3 in a row. It's just been hard to trust this team. And if there's no timetable for Clark right now, and they don't show some type of consistency, at some point you might have to decide, you know what, let's just call it a season. Well, focus on next year, get Caitlin Clark fully healthy, because what you don't want is for her to return and she re-aggravates or injures another part of her leg and she's out for next season. You don't want that. It reminds me of the Tyrese Halliburton situation where he had the calf strain. And my biggest concern about calf strains are it usually leads to an Achilles injury. And what happens? He tears his Achilles in game 7. Devastating stuff, but that's what happens with a calf strain. The Kevin Durant injury in the NBA Finals, they brought him back in game 5. He was battling that calf strain throughout the playoffs, tears his Achilles. So what I don't want is you bring Kevin Clark back in hopes of you making the playoffs or making a push towards the playoffs, and she gets hurt for next year. I don't think is a good idea. Depends where they're at in the playoff seeding. If they're in the top 6, bring her back. If not, you have to ask yourself, is it worth having Clark return and you battle for a lower playoff seed? And if you get knocked out in the first round, does that help the team at all? I don't know. There's a lot of decisions that the organization has to figure out. But the most important thing is get Caitlin Clark healthy. She's got to be in her best form, because when she's at a high level, when she's fully healthy, we've seen the numbers that Clark has put up. It's been fabulous stuff. So we'll see what happens. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the injury update with Caitlin Clark. And what should the Fever do? Should they just sit her out the rest of the season, or should they bring her back depending on the circumstances? Love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.